And we're going to dip in and listen here to the candidate.
Tabulators aren't working. They told me to put my ballot into a box and they would drive it downtown to count it. This is not normal stuff. We don't have to have elections run this way. We switched from a Republican area to vote. We came right down into the heart of liberal Phoenix to vote because we wanted to make sure that we had good machines. And guess what? They've had zero problems with their machines today. Not one machine spit out a ballot here today. Not one, in a very liberal area. So we were right to come and vote in a liberal area. They gotta fix this problem. This is incompetency. I hope it's not malice, but we're gonna fix it. We're gonna win. And when we win, there's gonna be come to Jesus for elections in Arizona. There's gonna be a come to Jesus. Next. Your name and who you're
Rachel
with.
Cole with Channel 12 News. I'm just curious, your attorney had mentioned maybe a possible silver lining with the issues that you will be able to move about town and kind of shake hands and talk to some of the people in line. Could you elaborate on your plan for later today?
After we leave, we're going to go encourage people to stay in line. We are going to vote, and we are going to stay in line. And the people of Arizona would walk over hot coals, and they would walk over broken glass to vote today. And I know that they can stand in line for a couple hours if they have to. I know they'll stand in line for 8 hours if they have to. And they will vote. And my message to the people of Arizona is do not get out of line until you have cast your vote. Do not get out of line until you've cast your vote. Things are looking very good for us. They may be trying to slow a red tsunami, but it's coming. And we are going to take back Arizona. And I know that people are out voting. Take a little bit of food, wear comfortable shoes, take some water, and just stay in line, Arizona, and vote. Vote, vote. We got to vote today.
So
Next question, name, and who are you with?
Roman Pontibriz with the French News Agency page. So does that mean that the problems are significant enough you're going to find a lawsuit and contest the results?
I don't know what the
Whatever
problems are going to be. I don't know what the problems are going to be. But I know that people are feeling disenfranchised today. I saw a woman walk away from a line today. Guys, I'm asking you in the media, do you think this is normal? You're young. You didn't vote back in the day when I started voting, where you walked up, cast your ballot, they counted it right there in the small precinct, and you knew the results the night of the election. We can't keep having elections run this way. We're going to have Hillary Clinton losing her mind when she's another election denier. She's already predicting bad elections in 2024. We've got to get this fixed. I want my children who voted for the first time today, I want them to have a country, and we need to have honest elections and transparent elections. Now, I hope that we get all these problems solved. I hope they get solved. Did you already ask a question? What's your name?
Kelly O'Grady with Fox News. Thanks for taking the question. Yes. You've said before that you've wanted Secretary Hobbs, your opponent, to recuse herself. Does this intensify that feeling, and will you accept it if she doesn't?
I think she should have recused herself. She's unethical. She's incompetent. But, you know, we've been asking her to do that since July of last year. Apparently she hasn't done so. We're just going to see where things go.
Kari, Bianca from Newsmax here yesterday, you said stay in line, get an Uber, bring food, pack food. You said we don't know what, you said anything could happen, and here we are. What is your advice to voters out there who are watching this press conference live, saying, where do I go, how do I make sure my vote counts?
My advice is stay in line and vote, guys. Don't let all this craziness stop you from voting. We're going to vote, we're going to win, and we are going to vote, and we're going to stay in line. Don't let this craziness stop you from voting.
Dennis.
And get out there and vote, vote, vote. And do not get out of line until you cast your ballot.
Ben Brokaw, Real America's Voice News. You were talking about this for months leading up to it. They came out yesterday, said everything was secure. Now we're seeing this not only here, but across America. Does it surprise you at all? And again, implications for America and the significance of why we have to change our voting system.
You know, I'm just embarrassed for Arizona that we're still having these problems, guys. But we will turn things around when I win. We are going to reform elections and make sure that we have honest, transparent elections that every Arizonan feels confident in. The rest of the country will look to us and say, let's make our elections just like Arizona. I don't like the embarrassment of every election having problems. I hope you don't either. And, you know, it's interesting because you guys in the media, especially some of you, some really, really fake news propagandists, I see many of them right around here, have been calling me names because I'm standing up for the people of Arizona. I'm standing up for our children who are going to someday be ready to vote. And I want to make sure that they have fair, honest elections. If we don't have honest elections, we don't have a country. And so I want people to not worry about what's happening. We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll get through this, and we will reform our elections.
But Kari, let's be
Who
clear.
are you and who are you with?
My name is Vaughn Hilliard with NBC News. And to be clear, the lines are not acceptable. People from work purposes, school purposes. At the same time, there is no evidence to suggest that this is not going to be an accurate election, just like 2020
I haven't
election.
suggested that. We're going to see what happens. I haven't suggested that on anybody else.
Gavino
Who are you?
Garai with Reuters News Agency. If Donald Trump were to announce that he is running, what would your reaction be?
My reaction would be elation. I would be so thrilled if President Trump runs. And I would absolutely, wholeheartedly support him. We need President Trump back in office to fix what Joe Biden has screwed up.
Kari,
Who are you?
Chris Van Cleef from CBS News. I want to just follow up on this question, if I may. If Donald Trump announces, as expected, to be president, and you win the governorship of Arizona, you're likely to be talked about as a VP candidate. Do you plan to serve your entire term in Arizona, or are you open to being the VP?
Are you new covering this race? Because we've talked about this before. We've talked about this. I've answered these questions. I am going to not only be the governor of Arizona for 4 years, I'm going to do 2 terms. I'm going to be your worst freaking nightmare for 8 years. And we will reform the media as well. We're going to make you guys into journalists again. So get ready. It's going to be a fun 8 years. I can't wait to be working with you guys.
For the people who are watching, I've been asked to share the link that people can go to find out where they can have a shorter time to vote. That's elections.maricopa.gov/voting/where-to-vote. So if there's a long line at the place that you go find a shorter line, but please vote.
Let's say that again. Leave it to the government to make a really confusing, difficult, long website. Let's do it one more time.
Elections.maricopa.gov/voting/where-to-vote.
Put it on our Twitter.
We'll put it on our Twitter.
It's on my Twitter as well, and you guys
Go to
can share
Harmeet's
it.
Twitter or mine. And you know what? When I'm governor, we'll try to clean up that kind of stuff as well.
Kari,
Any other questions?
Libby with ABC News. Last night you did say that you were worried about today, about issues potentially happening. If you do win tonight, how are you going to be confident in your win if you don't have confidence in this election?
I'm just not confident in the people who we've elected to run these elections. I mean, they're not good. They're not good at their job. It's a bunch of bureaucrats who don't know what the hell they're doing. We'll work through it. I mean, we're going to win. I've always said we got to win by a mile to eke out a 1-inch win, but we will win. And we will bring about good, honest reform to our elections. Next question, anybody else?
Can I ask one more?
Back to your name and who you're with.
Cameron with Red State. Do you support extending in-person voting hours Tuesday to Saturday?
That's a good question. Harmeet, have you talked about that? Why don't you have Harmeet answer
So
that?
the question is whether we support extending the voting hours. Look, there's 6.5 hours left to vote right now, and if you're in line at 7 o'clock, you can still vote. I think it's not something that we want to see happen. There are set hours by law, and so if the voting problems persist, we'll have to, address that issue later. At this point, there's 6.5 hours left to vote. We put out the link, and on Kari Lake's website as well, there is the same link on where you can find a place to vote. And so I urge people to go and vote on time and vote in person today so that we don't have drama and frankly lawyers are superfluous. That said, there are a lot of lawyers here.
That's right.
There are a ton of lawyers here in the state ready to take action. We are on it, and I hope that litigation is not necessary here.
I agree. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we'll see you tonight.
Kari, would you intend to sign legislation decertifying the 2020 election?
Nice try.
All right, so there you have it. Kari Lake, the gubernatorial candidate there, speaking after she cast her vote. Obviously, John, she is speaking after Maricopa County election officials reported that 20% of the tabulation machines in and around Maricopa County are having some problems. They say that they are trying to fix those problems. The election official, Bill Gates, said that right now. But some remarkable moments there where she said, stay in line. Don't let all this craziness distract you. Do not get out of line.
Also saying that she intends to be the governor there for the next 8 years, not be Donald Trump's running mate, saying I'm going to be your worst frickin' nightmare for the next 8 years. She also said it was her intention to reform the media.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what she was getting at there because